Of course.
And it's important we bring this to the fore.
Right.
Out of the budget of 4.06 trillion, HIBAC, you can imagine, as I said before,
right,
1.08 trillion will be payments for interest rates for our loans, generally speaking. Just imagine that figure.
Right.
Out of 4 trillion shillings, 1.08 trillion is money that we are paying for monies borrowed previously.
Right.
To fund other government programs in the past.
Right.
So what that means, out of the collections done by the National Treasury, the obligations to pay interest rate and also the principal, out of 100 shillings that will be received by government as revenue,
right,
61 shillings will be going into debt service.
Right.
And therefore, the country is only left with 39 shillings now to budget for education, to budget for agriculture, to budget for infrastructure, and all the other things we'll be talking about this evening.
Of course. You've said Kenyans are your bosses, and of course, Kenyans are the people who are going to be determining, I would assume, what would go into the budget. Let's see what Kenyans have to say. As we wait for that, you have pointed out that about 1.08 trillion Kenyan shillings is going to go into, servicing the interest rates for the debts that we have taken. What would you say are the debts that have been taken by the Kenya Kwanza government in the last year or two?
The current debt portfolio in terms of public debt in Kenya oscillates from 10 trillion to 11 trillion shillings. It oscillates because it's a moving target. External debt is a factor of currency. And we report our debt in terms of the local currency. So the reason of saying that is because it's difficult for anyone to give a static figure.
Right.
That's one. But number two, all the monies that are borrowed by government are already budgeted for in the budget. For example, when I was talking about the budget for financial year 24-25, I pointed out that the deficit is 609 billion Kenyan shillings.
Yes.
So the government will not borrow more than that. It will only borrow what is budgeted for.
Right.
And therefore, to answer your question, is that we'll only be relying on on resources outside of our revenue collection, that which is budgeted for.
Right.